Okay, so now in this episode of the rhythm tutorials, I want to explore the energy, if you want, of the different beats in a bar. How a movement that we do changes in feeling inside when we place it in different positions within the bar, within the loop of a bar. To do this, we need to use a step that we can do together, and I'm doing a tap step now, but this could be also done on an instrument, of course. It can be done with other forms of dance. In fact, I'm not using my tap shoes now because this is so basic. It relates to other styles of dance as well, and it's really more about music than about tap dancing. But in the tap, most of us know some version of the Shim-Sham break. I would usually do the Shim-Sham break something like this. There may be many different versions. It's not important now how you do it, but I would turn around and do it with my backs to the camera in case you want to learn this specific version. And I would now start this break on the 4. So I don't start at the beginning of the bar. I'm starting a bit too soon, intentionally, and I place the first stamp on the 4. So if I count this, it will be like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Right? It could be repeated endlessly like a time step, but for now I just do it once. The steps that I choose to do are stamp, toe, step, hop, step, stamp, stamp. And again, you're totally free to do this in any other way. It's not about a correct step, it's about a musical phenomenon. But if you want to, let's do it together for a few times. And I'll count us off slowly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay? I am being a bit sketchy about whether this is swinging or straight. We usually use it in a swing music, so the 8th note offbeats would be swinging here. It's hard to even hear the difference in this particular step because there are not that many 8th notes offbeat in that rhythm. But since I do not have a big choice of music, I will now do this exercise with a bossa nova groove, which is straight, and the step works just as well in this groove. So let's do it to this rhythm. It will sound like this. So the 1 is here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my rhythm. And the step will be like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now the point of this exercise is to take this particular step and move it around in the bar. We have now started on the 4. And I want to try and see if that feels differently if I do the same step starting from the 1. Now, it's really important that this does not make any sense at all if I do not have a strong feeling of where the 1 is. Because in all of what we do when it comes to groove and creating tension and release in rhythms, it's all about one thing relating to another thing, right? If I have a single event, like a few claps, that does not carry a lot of musical meaning. The meaning comes from how those claps relate to a piece of music, or more specifically to the grid of bars and beats and subdivisions, right? So it's very different, or it only makes sense if I always know where the one is, and if I'm aware of this grid, of the pattern of bars and beats. I will count out the beats loudly, and you will feel it inside if you're connected to the groove and you feel where the one is, or if you do not. If this always feels the same to you, then you're not connected. Then you are just doing the dance pattern by itself, which is nice, but then you don't get the full potential of what that could be. So then you would have to also count, so that you are, or maybe sing something on the one, so that you always know where that is. And if you are very familiar and it's not difficult to you to always know where the one is, then you can also let go of the counting and just enjoy the dancing more. But this is just a fundamental truth. We need to always feel internally where the one is, and in fact where all the beats are. So I will put on the music, and then I count it off, and then we start the dance at the same step on the one. Here's my count. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Okay, let's compare. Let's do it on the 4 for maybe 4 times, and then shift it and do it on the 1 for 4 times. And then go back and forth, okay? I would just always be saying like a boom or something on the 1, so it's a little bit more enjoyable maybe than this steady counting, okay? First of all, let's listen to the groove again. I will start dancing, placing the step on the 4. Go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! 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 I'm sorry, I missed it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! 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 Let's move it to the 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! 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 Etc. I've missed a few of the booms to sing, but I hope it was still understandable. Let's do the same step starting on the 2. So now it will be a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right? With the music. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's do it on the 3. The same starting on the 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Etc. I'm sort of rushing it through this video because I don't want for the videos to be too long, but maybe if you're not very familiar with this, maybe you feel that this really takes a little bit more time to practice. And whatever is best for you to crack it is good. Maybe it's good if you count first and not relate it to the music for a while, and you'll just be going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then put it to music or sing to it, etc. Hopefully, you feel that the phrasing of the step, the way it feels and sounds to your ear inside in your brain or in your stomach or wherever, really changes with wherever you place it. It's really a different feeling. For example, if I place it on the 2, the whole phrase leads up to the 1. The last stamp is on the 1, which is a very different feeling from starting on the 4, for example. And I hope you feel these differences, and with a lot of practice, we will be able to identify which beat we are on by just recognizing that feeling. That's the point of this exercise. And you can do this with any movement, with any rhythm, and any dance step, just moving it through the bar, starting on the 1, starting on the 2, on the 3, and the 4. Have fun!